Hello guys, welcome to the Trading Parrot. We're gonna do an update on XRP Ripple. We recently have a daily breakout, so we need an update on that. And there's two bearish news at the moment that might be the reason why the momentum on the daily hasn't managed yet to get into our target of $2.4. Guys, if you like this type of content, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell to get notified every time I put out one of these videos. The Parrot Army is doing an amazing job at hitting the like and writing comments, helping the new dedicated in-depth altcoin videos into new all-time highs of hundreds of views. I'm kidding, we need to get really serious here. We need to get these videos to over 10,000 views per video. It's all or nothing. Starting with the weekly time frame, we can see that XRP remains in the area of the squeeze. We are being squashed by the downward sloping resistance in white in here and the support at around $2 in this area. The bullish case is that we reclaim the lows of $2 in this area in here. And the next thing that XRP needs to do to defend that bullish position is to break out from the top of the triangle. But something is keeping XRP still within the squeeze and not deciding. There are external factors. Of course, Bitcoin has had part of that as well. General markets are doing pretty well this week. That hasn't translated yet into altcoins and Bitcoin. But let's have a look at the other factors. Because, for example, on the RSI weekly, we have tried so many times to produce the breakout that should have followed up with a revenge rally into this area. We tried that time, we failed. We tried this time, we should have gone this way, we didn't do it. And multiple times this week, we've been above and below, above and below. And it seems that we're gonna close this week potentially still below the resistance. We need to see if the general markets closing well in the green are actually gonna help after they go offline by the end of Friday. We have to admit that we took more than a bullet in here by putting a new low on the weekly momentum. But that could be considered as well as something positive. After all, we have higher highs in the price so far during this week. With a lower low in the momentum, that could be the perfect recipe for a hidden bullish divergence. When it comes to the longs versus shorts, we remain in the squeeze and very close to the area of value for XRP. XRP probably needs to go and pinch 1.9 and the longs are gonna get squashed right into the area of value. Ideally, as I say before, we don't want to break down from here, causing something like this. I believe that's not going to be the case, but I don't have a crystal ball, and I'm not intending to trade XRP anyways. In terms of socials, we're kind of in the middle, not very overheated, but since this pump that we have in April 2023, things started getting very loud. So we are just in the middle relative to the recent social dominance, but still a good 4.2% across all crypto projects out there is still good. Good for a social dominance, not great for a trade. In my opinion, I prefer very quiet social dominance to look for my longs. In terms of the daily time frame, after we completely form the head and shoulder, we've been just messing around with the breakdown. The story is the same. I don't expect any of these head and shoulders to play out. If we place the neckline like this, we should go to $1.5. Definitely there is a lot of liquidity. It's very attractive, as we are gonna see in the next charts. I tend to have a bias for this to maybe do a little bit more of damage around here, but eventually break out to the upside. The next levels of resistance are 2.4 and 2.70. If we look at the triangle on the daily time frame, this breakdown in here into the liquidity is what I was expecting. What I was not expecting is that we lose all interest after getting into such a small liquidity at $2.2. I was expecting to get straight into 2.4. That is fine, but we need to hold the middle ground in here and not reverse the full move up from 191 into 2.2. More or less where we are, we should hold the ground strongly. After all, that's where we have that support that we need to reclaim. If we can do that, I'm gonna do an extension of this recent move to the upside and place it here, assuming that we actually defend the $2. And if we do, well, then an extension of 1 can get us straight into $2.4. At that point, we wipe all that liquidity there that consists of 10x and more. If we include 5 and 3x, it doesn't look that impressive because, of course, above $2.7, there is a heck of a lot. Now, you can see what I was talking about when I mentioned the 1.5. If we were to achieve the technical target of the head and shoulder that you can see in here on the daily time frame, that can get us literally into $1.5. And that's how important I think it is that we defend the ground at $2 and then we carry on with that motivation that we have at 2.4. But you see the motivation of 2.4 is not that big, but it's very close to the price. It's only 14% up, which is something that we just recently did from 190 into 2.2. Going into $1.5 means a move of 27-28%. A lot more. It requires a lot more energy and a lot more bearishness in the market to get us there. Having said that, that liquidity is still not as big as what we wiped when we went into 160. Definitely that was the big hit in terms of liquidity. If we look at the RSI on the daily, you can see that this move up into 2.2 was a breakout on the daily and re-entering into the area of RSIs of 50, which was great, but now we are faking out and we have confirmed the fake out, still putting a higher low, which is what is holding the ground at $2, but we really need to resume the uptrend in here. Of course, that was not something great, so every single time that something bad happens, you reduce a little bit more the chances that we actually end up going to the upside. So what could be driving this bearishness, ignoring all the external factors that affect all crypto projects at once? Well, we have at number 1 a 3 out of 10 fully bearish news that came out on the 26th of June, that's yesterday. The Judge Torres rejects Ripple SEC bid to slash a fine to just 50 million. So they wanted to reduce 125 to 50 million. It doesn't sound like a lot of cash to me for XRP or a top market cap. It shouldn't be, but they were asking for slashing it to more than a 50% reduction. This extends the legal overhang. XRP slipped 4% within the hour as traders price in a longer court timeline. Well, that is what at the moment sent everything back into the $2 support. Let's hope that it's not gonna need to go to the 1.5, which I think it requires more than just this struggle. Probably it needs the general markets to do something nasty as well. In a slightly bearish here with 4 out of 10, we have Ripple moves 439 million to unknown wallet. XRP slices 5% while the 30-day RV hits 44%. Sharp token transfer and follow-on selling tested the 208. That's on the 27th of June, that's today. Historically compressing volatility, this low often precedes explosive directional moves. So this is more of a fear that there could be additional volatility, not necessarily a sharp decline. And the bullish news of the day, or the past 48 hours, is that XRP to $3 searches soar as well, shuffled 500 million. Late session volume quadrupled its hourly average and pushed XRP up nearly 6%. On-chain data shows well deposits pausing, hinting at accumulation ahead at a potential breakout. On CryptoQuant, pretty much everything looks in the green in here, as you can see. Of course, this is not the most comprehensive dashboard. There's plenty of other indicators to look at, but it's a good starting point to see and smell for any fishiness in XRP. We can see that $2.4 here on the liquidation heat map as well. So if I was to do a wrap up on XRP, I will say that we need to focus specifically on defending $2. Particularly, we don't want any daily close below this recent close of 192, ideally not even below $2. That keeps the price within the squeeze and the hopes with it. Closes below this area hint towards the consumption of the middle ground in this area of around 180 to 170 and could sparkle the panic that we are actually going to go to the next low, which is 1.5. The daily fake out is not a big deal, but we need to be quick on exiting back again and produce a new breakout. Otherwise, things start going into the gray area for XRP. Guys, currently I'm hosting a trading competition with Bluffin, an impressive $4.2 million that is being offered as a share. And by joining my competition, you can also win a Tesla Cybertruck as part of a lottery that they're running. Open the description down below and there are two links. One is to open a new account with Bluffin that gives you 10% cashback and 3,000 future bonuses. And there's a link to join the trading competitions explicitly, which you have to click in order to participate to win one of these prizes and of course be part of the trading competition. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.